Hello.
Hi, Dean.
Hi. Do you support
Hi.
Trump?
I do in
Did you vote
particular
for Did you vote
sense,
for him in the
yes.
election?
No, I didn't because I'm a dual citizen of both the Caribbean and America, but I wasn't able to vote because I wasn't in the country at the time.
Okay, but like if you could have voted, you would have.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, I want to catch you off guard today. I see you on live every single day talking about trans individuals. So I know that the first thing that you're going to tell me is that you support Trump because he doesn't like trans individuals. Go ahead and
I
prove to
don't
everybody
think
listen. Go ahead, one moment. Go ahead and prove to everybody listening into this live that you do not spend 100% of your life dedicated to 0.5% of the American population and give us one reason why you support Donald Trump outside of a disdain for trans individuals.
well, I disagree with the original premise that Donald Trump has a disdain for trans people. That's the first thing I disagree with. So you're operating on a premise that I don't agree with. So I'm going to answer that question. I don't think that Donald Trump has disdain towards trans people. What Donald Trump is doing is protecting women and their sex-based rights. That's what he's doing. It has nothing to do with disdain for trans people.
Okay, well, we're going to disagree there, but I don't want to debate that with you. I want you to answer my question. Go ahead and prove to everybody watching this live that you don't spend 100% of your time focusing on 0.5% of the American population.
I don't spend one.
And give us one reason why you support Trump out of your disdain for trans individuals.
I
If you would
don't have
rhetorically
disdain.
dispute that by saying that you don't have disdain, but you just
I
want to
don't.
protect women's
So
rights.
then
Okay,
so
I just want you to answer the question. Give us one reason why you
no, the
support Trump
premise of the question I
outside of
disagree
your
with.
position towards trans
No,
individuals.
my position surrounding the trans movement is the number one reason that I support Donald Trump.
Okay, I know, but I want you to prove to the live that you don't spend 100% of your time dedicated on focusing on
Why do I need
0.5%
to
of the
prove that? That's
population.
no. My
So
live topics.
you don't have any argument
I
outside of
agree.
like trans individuals?
My argument for the number one priority
Damn.
is the protect. One second, is the protection of women's sex-based rights. You didn't do this
So
for any
what's your
other.
number two priority?
One second, one second. You didn't do this for any other guest. You're evading the topic. When a person came up to discuss immigration with you, you didn't ask them.
So what's your number two priority?
You didn't ask them to give you a reason outside of immigration. You didn't do that. You're not engaging with the point.
One second.
evading-
I want to
you're evading
clarify.
the point.
You're not engaging with the point.
I came to
The
engage
very
with you
first-
on the trans. I
The
came.
very first thing I said when
Why are
you
you
joined
making-
this live is because you're interrupting me. The very first thing that I said when you joined this live was that I see you sitting on live for 4 hours a day debating on your disdain towards trans individuals.
I don't have
So
disdain
I
towards
wanted
trans
you to prove, right, to everybody listening, myself
No, how
included.
do I have
Okay, you are
disdain for
interrupting
trans
me.
people?
I am now going to place you on mute. The only reason why I'm placing you on mute is because you're interrupting me. If you do not interrupt me, one, I will not mute you. And if you do not interrupt me, two, I will not interrupt you. Is that fair?
Fair.
Okay, great. So I'm going to continue on with what I said. I brought you up for one reason, and I made this one reason incredibly clear the moment that you joined. All right? I see you on live every single day debating on why you think that the trans existence is invalid and a plethora of other claims, once again related to 0.5% of our population. And you
That's
know that
incorrect.
you interrupted me again, so now I'm going to mute you. Okay? I don't know why we're doing this because every time you interrupt me, I have to restart. So now I'm
You
going to
don't.
mute you and I'm going to restart what I said because I lose track of even what I'm saying when I hear your voice coming in through the headphones. So now I'm going to restart. I made this clear the moment you joined the live, okay? Because once again, I know who you are. We've personally debated 4 or 5 times about trans individuals, about trans women in women's restrooms, if trans women are women. We've debated many, many times about this, all right? But the moment I brought you up, I clarified the reason I brought you up was because I want you to prove to everybody watching the stream that you do not spend 100% of your time focused on 0.5% of the American population, and that you don't just simply vote for a candidate or support a candidate based upon how they're going to make life worse for a few, but how they're going to make life better for all 330 million Americans in this country. Okay? You've made it clear that your disdain towards trans individuals is your number one priority. Well, we've already debated on that 4 or 5 times. Let's talk about your number 2. Debate me on anything but your position related towards trans individuals that we've already gone over 4 or 5 times and prove to everybody listening that that's not what you dedicate your existence to.
Are you finished?
Yeah, go ahead and tell us why you support Trump.
So this is pathetic, because what you're doing is you're saying that you won't debate me on the topic I came up to debate you on, which is you running. So let's all type running in the chat for Dean here. You're running.
So
If I'm here, if
I have a question.
no, you're interrupting. Sorry, boo. So if
Okay, I'll
I'm
ask my
here,
question once you're done speaking.
of course. So what you're doing is I'm up here to discuss a topic with you, and what you're doing is you're telling me to discuss any other topic but the topic I came up to discuss. That's disingenuous. If I come up to discuss a topic with you, you can't then say discuss anything else but that. And I'm going to make it very clear. My entire existence on this platform of TikTok is to fight for the sex-based rights of women, right, against the trans movement, and I will stand on that hill and live on it until the day I die. So I'm making
And
that
this
clear.
is why Democrats are winning elections, everybody.
Yeah,
This is
what-
exactly what, don't interrupt me. This is exactly why
just
I brought
interrupted
Edna up.
me.
This
You
is
just
exactly
interrupted-
why I brought Edna up, everybody. This is why Democrats are winning elections, such as the governor's office in Maine. Because when we have people on the right, such as Edna, that would rather focus on the 12 trans women competing in the NCAA compared to the 66 million American women and girls that have lost their elective access to abortion because Donald Trump overturned Roe v. Wade, this is what has lost Republicans elections in states like Maine, where we had the Democrat run on the agenda, while my opponent is hyper fixated on who's using the potties. I'm focused on filling the potholes. So the one reason why I brought you up was to simply demonstrate that there's so many Americans that place their bigotry and their hate towards 0.5% of the population over fascism, over human rights, right? Over a complete and total disdain for making our country better, for progressing our economy, for advocating for genuine reform in our foreign policy. None of it matters to them as long as 0.5% of the population has worse material conditions. It justifies it all, right?
Can I respond to what you're saying? 'Cause
Yeah, for sure.
What you're doing is you're presupposing a lot of things. One, you're presupposing that it's bigotry. So I want the argument for that. What's the argument that what I'm saying is bigotry?
Once again, if I give you the argument that it's bigotry, that just goes right back into the overwhelming debate that I've already told you that we've had 4 or 5 times that I didn't bring you up for related to trans individuals. You won't even respond to my retort of the claim that that's the only thing you want to talk about because you rather want to redirect the conversation back into trans individuals. So I want to clarify this for everybody listening. This is crazy. Ate my cheese it there. So not only does this guest place 0.5% of the population over everything that I named off, but they even place making the material conditions for 0.5% of our population even over, hearing me out for what I have to say on live. It is more important for them to be able to push this narrative and have conversations about how much they hate trans individuals than even addressing anything else I could voice. Right? It's insane. It's truly insane, and that's why I brought you up. That is why I brought you up, just to prove that to everybody. And I'm giving you an opportunity to show the 7.5 thousand people watching on TikTok right now that you have an ability to advocate for greater reform, not only in America, but on the global stage, to demonstrate to us all that 0.5% of the population is not what fuels your opinions related to American or global politics, and that you truly do place the average quality of life in this country and making the material conditions for 300 million people greater over making the material conditions for 0.5% of the population worse. And now you're going to find another way to redirect the conversation back into trans individuals, and you're going to make me look right, and you're going to make yourself look crazy. Go ahead.
You've interrupted me now 4 times after complaining about being interrupted. So let me just make something very clear to you. 0.5% of the population, if 0.5% of the population are causing harm, I'm going to address it. In the same way that less than 1% of the world population are serial killers, it doesn't mean that we allow serial killers to run rampant, do we? So stating that 1.5% of the population is doing something, that therefore I can't speak about it and that it is of less importance is logically fallacious. That's one. Two, there are 4 billion women who exist on this planet, and I'm going to fight for every single one of them. Now, yet again, if you don't want to engage with with what I'm trying to say, because this is what proves to me you're disingenuous. When any other guest came up here to discuss with you immigration, for example, you didn't say to them, give me any other reason why you don't support or some other reason outside of immigration. You discussed immigration with them. I am here to discuss with you discussed immigration with them. I am here to discuss with you my support of Trump.
Your question about something that
You're not going to discuss it with me. Are you going to answer my question?
Whoa, so you're not going to allow me to address what you just said? That's really
Can
disingenuous.
you answer my question? Are you going to engage or are you going to run away?
I'm going to ask you a question about something that you just said. Quit fucking steamrolling. What are you doing? Sorry, if you're going to say something, like it's obviously going to be the case that you're going to allow me a chance to respond to what you said. So you said for like the other guests that came up here to talk about immigration, I let them talk about immigration with me. Let me ask you a question. Take the last 5 guests that I've talked about immigration and abortion. How many times do you think I've discussed immigration and abortion with him before the conversation?
I don't know.
How many times have we talked about trans individuals before now?
Me and you, twice.
There you go. There's your answer. The reason I brought you up onto this live today was just to show to everybody watching that you don't care about making the material conditions of the average American better. You don't care about furthering our country. You just care about further oppressing 0.5% of us. And that's the only thing you were ever willing to talk about in any circumstance ever, right? And the fact that you cannot comprehend that all I am trying to get out of you is one fucking reason why it is the case that you support Donald Trump outside of your fueled and directed and targeted oppression towards trans individuals is fucking insane. And I mean, there's about 1 billion ways to frame this position as well. We could frame this position in so many ways. Because if your greater claim is about just ensuring the better treatment of individuals in America, particularly fighting for the rights of women and girls, consider this. Okay, imagine that I grant you that being trans is wrong and you somehow get this out of Donald Trump and then all of a sudden trans people are oppressed and you win. And in this hypothetical reality that truly does further the fight for women and girls' rights. Well, guess what? I would say an overriding concern is the regression that Donald Trump is serving towards women and girls' rights related to the 66 million American women and girls that don't have access to elective abortion in this country directly because he opted to elect justices to the Supreme Court to overturn Roe v. Wade. Or people like Adriana Smith that are being treated as literal human incubators as a direct result of Donald Trump's approach to government and his approach to policy and his appointments to the Supreme Court and doing what he wants. Or the fact that you sit on live every single day acting as if trans women using the women's restroom is World War III, but then you support Donald Trump even though he's a cis man that has openly boasted about perving on naked and underage teenage girls and grown adult women within their dressing rooms. And here's my prediction. The moment I stop speaking and the moment you start speaking, you're not going to address or respond to anything that I said. You're going to be unwilling to have critical dialogue about the 66 million American women that are having their human rights violated when their Republican states are denying them access to elective lethal abortions. You're not going to respond to Adriana Smith. You're not going to respond to the 60 pregnant rape victims that try to get abortions and are shot down in 10 of our 50 states per day. And you are definitely not going to respond to the fact that Donald Trump is a culmination of everything you paint trans women to be, even though that's abundantly false, and you opted to put him in the Oval Office. You are instead going to try to find a way to redirect this conversation back to 0.5% of our population that has personally never done anything to hurt, harm, or affect you in any way and completely ignore everything I just said. So take it away. Prove me right.
Yeah, I'm gonna prove you right, and I'm gonna say to you that you just pivoted. So all of that Yappalations you read from Yappalations 4 verse 1 to 125, you just ignored everything that I came up here to discuss. Are you ready to discuss what I came up here to talk to you about? Are you going to keep performatively giving us the performative outrage that you continue to spew every time you're on this app and pretend as though you care? Because that's all you're doing. So that was a nothing burger with a side of word salad. So can I get an actual response to what I'm here to talk about? Or are you going to keep running away like your father did from his child support payments when you were younger? What are you going to do? Dean?
My dad actually did do that. Bro, that's kind of fucked up, bro.
Boo-hoo. Can you answer?
What, boo fucking who? Wait, one second. That's one of the reasons that I grew up homeless. Whoa.
Yeah. Oh, no, boo-hoo. Don't care. You don't care about women.
Yo, this guy's a fucking dick.
You don't care about women.
Dude, this guy's an asshole. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Anyways, I appreciate you for proving me right. I mean... It does genuinely, it makes me happy that I could demonstrate to everybody watching the live that you can prove me right. So thank you so much. I got exactly out of you that I wanted to get out of you. And I really hope that this live is giving you what is necessary to take a step back and to reevaluate the world around you, where your priorities lie, and how you approach these conversations. Because if you could get absolutely fucked up and crystal balled, okay, actually, we're going to go ahead and trademark that word because everybody knows that guests will come up here and I will predict exactly what they are going to do, right? And then I talk about the invisible crystal ball in my hand, and then they prove me right every single time. If you're going to get absolutely fucked up and crystal balled because I was able to explicitly predict exactly what you were going to do, and then you did it and affirm that you did it, I think that you need to reconsider, a lot of what you believe in, where your priorities lie, and how you operate yourself as a creator. So I appreciate you for allowing me to get that slam dunk on you.